hope that this brief overview will give you some insight into what we plan to be able to cover throughout the different sessions that are on the calendar throughout the fall semester. These content clinics have been created so that you can have additional support outside of the classroom, and it is a way for us to provide information to all campus locations at the same time and in the same venue. Now, this is a session that is recorded, so what we will do at the end is provide a link for everybody to be able to access the recording another time, tomorrow, the next day, or over the weekend, so that you're not limited to only being able to hear this content during a one-time session that is offered. Everybody will be able to listen in on the session, even if it's not live. So I'm going to be covering a few of these overview items, and then our professor, Linda Sharp, will be joining the conversation momentarily, and she will be able to share with you some specifics regarding the course content. She is on the call with us today. So expectations for the remaining sessions this semester are as follows. We will be providing some insight into, specifically into content that you're going to need to know in preparation for your exams. You will have 4 exams throughout the semester in this course, and the content we find is sometimes very helpful to have either from a different faculty member's perspective or from just who might phrase the information a little bit differently in a way that reaches you and helps bring clarity to the content for you. So each week you will, or not each week, but each time we have a session, you'll be able to submit questions in advance, or like tonight, if you want to submit a question via the chat feature, you can do that, and then that way, we can get to your question as well by the end of the session. All right, so we have an email address on the screen. That's my email address, stephaniebondison@gcu.edu, and you can use that to request topics for the content clinics, or you can email your faculty members specifically. But also throughout the semester, you have additional opportunities for getting assistance outside of the classroom itself. And that would be, number 1, in the LMS system, you can post questions for the instructor in the Questions for Instructor forum, or you can post them in the individual student-faculty forum. And that way you can get additional assistance from your faculty members. This is not the only outside of class opportunity for you, because in addition to this content session, as well as your classroom time and your time in the learning management system, your faculty will also hold office hours where you can schedule appointments to meet them or just drop by during those office hours to ask questions and get clarity on content that you are needing some additional assistance with. And so we do offer these content clinics for every didactic course throughout the nursing curriculum starting this fall semester. And those schedules and times are posted on our website, and we will be adding additional sessions throughout the semester. And so I suggest, reviewing those websites and communicating with your faculty if you have any questions regarding any upcoming sessions. And then we also do have open lab time also available at each site, so that if you have the need for additional practice time, that is available to you as well. All right, so I'm going to ask Professor Sharp to join us in the conversation. She, I think, might need to enter her audio pin in order for her to join, but we shall see. Can you speak? Professor Sharp?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
I put it in 3 times. It didn't work earlier when I was on the earlier conversation. How is everyone?
Oh, no. Okay, so anybody else that is on the call is on mute, and so we'll just go over the questions, and then you can share your perspective on that. And then if we do get any questions via the chat feature, then I can I'll read those out loud to you.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're working earlier today, so okay.
All right. So the first question. Yeah, the first question would be, what are the expectations for the first assignment that is due? And I believe that is the behavioral health court observation.
Right. We went over those in class, and the behavioral health court, I highly recommended students getting there if they could see a live court proceeding at all, because that is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, just to be able to see what mental health court is about and why it's there. Students will have to kind of research that on their own a little bit, look in the textbook to get their, perspective on what it's about. And then I did send the students 2 video links to watch for that court proceeding, because they were not attached for viewing in the Lab Cloud assignment this time. And so I basically, for that paper, it's a short paper, but it does require, again, a little bit of research. It requires some citations and a reference page, and just an opening paragraph with a thesis statement, of course. And I also suggested students go to the writing lab if they need more help with that. I also, am available if anyone had any questions about it. They could email me, and of course meet up with me as well. My office hours are during the day on Tuesday, or by appointment at any time that the student needs to meet with me. And the court assignment is like, a 1-page paper basically, and a reference page. Just, a little bit about what mental health court is about, and then a couple of paragraphs on viewing the videos and reflecting on the experience, what they thought about it, how they perceive, mental health court helping patients with mental health disabilities, and how it helps society. So the videos are short. The paper is a short paper, so it's not a huge assignment, and it's very interesting, especially if you can get to court. So that would be my recommendation. The court itself is open at 8:30 at Desert Vista every day, Monday through Friday, and that's over there in East Mesa. That's on the paperwork that was given to the students. The other courts that are listed are only open certain days. I think
Excellent.
that's it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question is a little bit broader, and that is, what do I need to do to be successful in this class?
Show up. Participation is very, very important, of course. My suggestion to do well in the class is to read the chapters before you come to lecture. I do a very thorough lecture on the chapters that are already read, and so if you read the chapters, then you're kind of ready with questions and to digest and absorb and understand what you need to know. And of course, it really does help to not procrastinate and stay ahead. So that's my best recommendation. Of course, participation points are important too, so coming to class and being prepared with that's really the biggest thing. There are 4 exams, and the exams cover the content exactly how it's laid out in the syllabus, and I review all of that in the lecture with the students, and I do go over, what they need to highlight the important points before the week before the exam. So very, very, I think, very good on the lectures if you show up to get all of the information that you would need to know for studying for the exam.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. What about collaboration between faculty across sections? Is that something that helps provide any consistency?
Well, are we talking about the collaboration between the clinical staff and their site? I do actually go and supervise the students at their clinical site rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps that I have been an adjunct for 3 years and have been to all of the hospitals in the Valley for mental health. So I'm familiar with what they're doing at their sites as well as all of the assignments. I do help prepare the students with what they need to do at the clinical site. In fact, the next lecture 3 will be on a lot of that process recording assignment that they're going to be doing. They need to prepare for that a little bit, but they will have 3 weeks of clinical rotation where they'll be able to very easily do their clinical papers now that the paperwork is kind of spread out a little bit more for their papers in class. And the 2 assignments that are major assignments are the process recording and the care plan they do at the clinical site. So I'm very open to, you know, collaborating with the staff and helping them with their assignments as they go through clinical, because that's really where I feel the rubber meets the road, when you are able to incorporate what you've learned in the classroom into the clinical arena.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so you mentioned the exams. So each exam, my understanding is that students need to achieve a minimum of 76%. And overall on their exam average throughout the entire semester in order to pass the course.
Right, so, and that's for all, all nursing courses have that requirement of 76%. And I do ask the students to meet with me if they get under 80%. And I do remediation with them and reviews and try to get them to get, group study formed as well, if that's needed for study groups. Can
you elaborate on the group study a little bit and explain how it works?
The group study would be basically finding other students that are in the same course that want to form a study group, because that is helpful, because students do learn from each other. Our class is only 2 hours, so we don't get as much time during the classroom to interact as what you really should be, to process some of the therapeutic communication skills. They do get, they don't really have a lot of labs on that either. They do get a lab on hearing voices for the simulation for that, and also on adverse medication events. But they really do need to practice those and hone those therapeutic communication skills. They need to feel comfortable, I think, before they go to their clinical as much as possible. Some students start clinicals earlier than others. But I think if they formulate those study groups, they can be practicing those therapeutic communication skills and understanding the concepts that will help them to feel more comfortable when they go to the clinical, as well as studying for the exam. I recommend doing the questions that are in the text and on Elsevier, or actually taking any test questions helps you to decrease your anxiety for when it comes time for taking the test.
That is a good point. What kind of additional tips maybe would help decrease anxiety? I know studying and being prepared, getting a good night's sleep, those kinds of
No, and that's really where I like to meet individually with students that really do have issues with that. That I, just because I have been in therapeutic communication with psychiatric nursing for over 30 years, I really do like to meet with a student and find out, what some of their stressors are, what's going on, how if they're able to, like, after they've had the first exam, actually is more helpful, because I can see if they're actually reading through that stem, if they're getting stumped there, or if they're getting stumped on, just understanding and sorting out the responses. So it's important for me to meet with the student really to help them sort that out and figure out what's going on.
All right. I do not see any specific questions from any participants on the line. So okay. Is there anything else that you would like to to offer up or talk about during this first session?
Well, there's several assignments that we have now in the class, and I have offered for students if they're really, if they start ahead on them so they're not behind, that, if they have questions, then I can help them to achieve getting the maximum points on those assignments, because the participation and the points on the assignments all add up to helping them with their grades as well as the exams, even though they need to score 76% or higher on the exams. So I'm totally dedicated 110% to helping the students do well. So they just need to contact me. The individual form is set up in MildCloud for them to contact me, and I respond to it daily. And if it's more urgent and they really need me sooner, they're welcome to email me at linda.sharp@gcu.edu. I also gave them my phone number for more emergent messages, and so I'm very available for them. They just need to ask for help when they need it.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. All right, so it does not look like we have questions from the participants. So this on the screen right now is just a list of the remaining sessions. So we have today, August 31st. This was the first session, kind of an introductory overview. And the next sessions will be September 14, September 28, October 12, October 26, and November 9. We are open to adding additional sessions to the calendar if we have requests and a need for some additional support sessions. And so I would suggest students that you contact your faculty members and you talk with them about any additional support you may need. And first, because your faculty member is your first person that you need to be talking with about your progression and your understanding of the content in the course, especially if you need any assistance. And then we can also, like I said, add additional sessions if there is interest and a need for that throughout the semester.
Yeah, I would highly emphasize that, because we're just a phone call, email, or individual forum away. So we're here for the students, all the instructors.
All right, so thank you. On the screen now is just a list of the College of Nursing and Healthcare Professions leadership, so that you can have the contact name and email address if you don't already have it readily available to you for each of the different roles. We have the Dean, Dr. Melanie Loeb, the Arizona Director, Sheila Cyrils, New Mexico Director, Heidi Orrick, Program Manager, Darlene Swint, Director of Academic Excellence, that's me, Stephanie Bondison. And then you can also contact your Student Services Advisor, your faculty member, who again is always to be your first point of contact for anything relating to your course. And also you can provide feedback at the end of every course, and I hope that you do, in the end of course surveys. And please let us know if how you like these sessions in that venue as well. And this will conclude tonight's session. I thank you for participating, and just let us know in advance if you have any particular questions regarding the content that you want covered during the session, if there's a session coming up, or definitely contact your faculty member regarding anything you need clarity on throughout the week and throughout the entire semester. Thank you.
Stephanie, do you